Have you ever tried to build a bottom navigation preserve state? I mean something like the way we have this three bottom navigation bar here, where we have to do news and sports. Whereas I'm on this news now, I can navigate on this news. If I navigate to the future, as you can see, the bottom navigation bar is still there. If I go to sports, this is another screen entirely. If I go to news, as you can see, the state is still preserved. I can go back on this news and all. Have you ever wanted to build that? If so, stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Samuel from TechWithSam. In today we'll be learning advanced GoRouter tutorial. That is, we'll be building bottom navigation with preserved state, nested route, type navigation, and authentication rewrite. So this will be built on Riverpod with basic knowledge. You don't need to know so much about Riverpod. For example, if you are using other state management solution for your state management basically. So we'll be building everything. We'll just be diving into some basic some advanced navigation system in Flutter. If we search Flutter itself, if I search the best navigation system for a Flutter app, GoRoute is officially recommended by Flutter itself. So you can see for most Flutter application, the GoRoute package is considered the best navigation system due to its robust feature set, officially backing by the Flutter team itself. So the GoRoute has a lot of navigation advantage, like deep linking, the bottom navigation preserve state, and a lot of other things compared to the other solutions that we have, like the Navigator 1.0, the navigation push and the likes. We also have MotoRoute. We also have Navigator 2.0. We also have name route and a lot of other routes. But it gets clumsy when you are even working on a big project. So with GoRoute, you can easily accomplish everything that you want with GoRoute. So it make it easy instead of having to have clumsy like navigation system. So with GoRoute, we can monitor, we can build it, we can generate code for it with GoRoute builder and all. So in today's video, that's what we'll be doing. So stay tuned. So the first thing now is let me just put this my simulator here so you can see it. So I already built a new Flutter project. Sorry, let me move it here. Okay, so I already built a new Flutter project, is already running. So this is a new Flutter project, just a normal Flutter project. So I'll be using the GoRoute package. So if you go to pub.dev, so let me just open a new tab, pub.dev like this. Then we can search for GoRoute. So let me just GoRouter. So GoRoute, so we'll be needing these two packages, GoRouter builder and GoRoute. So let me open this GoRouter builder in another tab so we can see the documentation basically. And as I mentioned, we'll be making use of Flutter Riverpod as well. So let me copy this. So we install this. So let's just go to our postspec.yaml file. So I will go to the dependency, install GoRouter. Then the next one is this GoRouter builder, although this one is dev dependency. So as you can see now, the dependency that is required to use this GoRouter builder, we need GoRouter inside dependency, and for the dev dependency we need the build runner and the GoRoute builder. So I will just copy these two package, so it's required so we can run the build runner command. That's why build runner is required. So these are dev dependencies. So I will just come here, then run this. All right, so the next thing now is okay, we need Flutter Riverpod as well. So let me just install Flutter Riverpod. So let me say Riverpod, so it should be Flutter Riverpod. Yes. Yeah, all right, so this is it. So we install as well. So let's just make sure everything is installed. Okay, so Flutter Riverpod also is installed. Then we can get started. So if we go through this documentation now for the GoRoute builder, so we have some basic stuff. If you want to do GoRoute still have some advanced and basic stuff. You just want to go through the basic GoRoute documentation. You can just create a simple GoRoute class where user can just navigate like something like this. So you can just create a GoRoute, then we can have the route, the path, and also so the builder just like home screen, splash screen, page, and the likes. but we are not going through the basics, so we just build something that we can work with a nested route, and also the bottom navigation preserve state as we talked about earlier. So now the first thing is defining a route. So define each route as class extend GoRoute data and overriding the build method. So we are going to be declaring a route, and basically what we want to build for this our tutorial project now, it will just be a basic app. So it will have let's say a welcome screen. So welcome screen, we have like a login button. So the login button is just once the user click on the login button, it will go directly to the home page. So the home page, we have the home page or the welcome screen, whichever one, we have home, profile and setting. So on the home screen now, we just have a list view builder. So the list view builder, we have like list of items. So inside the item, the user can click an item and it will now get to the details of that particular item. So that's for the home. For the profile, let's just have like a logout button. So the logout button will just navigate back to the welcome screen so the user can log in again. Then on the let's say settings, we just have like a list as well, so we can have like let's say help and support, terms and condition and the likes. So probably we can enter another screen from the settings as well. So from there on the home screen, when the user click on an item to view the details of that item, we can preserve the bottom state, so we can still see the bottom state where the user is on the details of a particular item and so on and so forth. So that's just the basic structure of what we will be building today. So the first thing now, since we already installed this all the packages that is needed for this tutorial, so I'll create a new folder here. I'll call it router. So let's just create a new folder. So let's just call it router. So inside our router, that is where all our routes will be. So I'll just create a new file. I'll call it router.dat basically. So if you go through this documentation again, so I will be like intersecting between the documentation so you can get the flow, so it will not be I'm picking everything from head. So as you can see from the instruction or from the documentation, once we import the GoRoute, then this part is basically for the code generator. So as you can see, it's essential to us. It's essential to also include a part the directive that reference the generated data file, because we're going to be generating code. That's why we have this build runner to generate the route. So we don't have to be typing the string and key value manually. So basically, so that's what we have here. So the part is the source file name, then .g.dat. So we'll be creating that now. So inside our router.dat, so let's import GoRoute. So GoRouter like that. Then the next thing now, we can just put part now. Then the name of our file is router. So router.g.dat like that. Make sure if your file name is different, then your file this must be the name of your file. This router must be the name of your file, basically your source file. Yeah. So now from here now, we can first of all, since we are using Riverpod, we can just manage all our state with Riverpod. We can just create like a router provider or something like that. So with that, we can like manage the state also for the authentication value, because once the user click on login, we can change the state to login state, and if the user click on sign in, we can change the state to sign out state, something like that. So let's just create a router provider. So we can just say provider. So inside the provider now, then we can have the provider. So we can call this GoRouter. So GoRouter, then should just be rough like that. Okay, so inside here now, let's just return the GoRouter class name. So GoRouter like that. So we are going to so GoRouter now, one of the required parameter is even route. If you go to the documentation now, you see sorry, a few seconds. Okay, so the GoRoute initialization. So the code generator aggregate all top level routes into a single list called the app route for use in initializing the GoRoute instance. So now, as you can see inside the GoRoute class, now we have the route. So once we generate the code, we are going to have this app route. So we are here to do that. So this will still be an error. So let's just write it now. So once we generate the code, so basically what we have here is $ app route, and that's what we are going to put here as well. So $, then the app route, as simple as that. So inside this let me close this. All right, so let me import provider as well. Okay, so we are good. So inside this GoRouter, we have different parameter like the initial location and some other ones. So we just need like 3 more so as to accomplish what we want here. So we make use of the initial location, just like the initial route. So basically, which is our home. So just put this / like the welcome screen basically. Then we can as well let's just check through. Okay, so we have debug log diagnostic. So this one is just log all the routes, so we can turn it to true. So the true, we are going to see all the route in our console. Yeah, basically. So the next is error builder as well. If you check documentation here as well, you can see this error builder here. So after the go route, as you can see the route, then we have the error builder. So this error builder is just like a 404 page in case the user or probably mistakenly navigate to a non-existing route. So this is like the error builder, just like when you go to a 404 page basically. So you can build an error screen so the user can just do that. So let's just create an error builder. So let's say error builder like that. I'm going to create another file for the error builder so we can separate our what's it called, our screen. So let me just put it as center for now. Okay, so it should just be command like that. Let me import material.dat. Okay, so without skipping, so let me create another folder inside our lib. We'll call it features. So inside features now, so we can have all this extra screen. So inside this feature, I can just create error folder as well. So let me just call it error like that. So inside this error, I can now create error screen. So let me just create error screen.dat. So inside this error screen now, so I can just like create a simple error screen basically. So let's just create a stateless widget basically. So the first thing, let's import material page. So our material page, then stateless widget. So let's just call it error screen. All right, so I can change this to scaffold. All right, so inside our error screen now, if you notice inside this our router, the error screen, we have this bit context, I mean the parameter, then the state here, which is a go route. So here now, inside our error screen now, we can require the exemption that the user is passing here. I mean the reason why the user is getting here, the exemption code. So let's just call exemption, then the error. So let's require it inside our constructor basically. All right, so that's pretty much it here. So now we can just build something basic. So let's just quickly design something here. So center chart should be column. All right, so inside column, so inside our column now, we can just have a single let's just say icon. So inside the icons now, we can have let's have error outline like that. Let's set the size to 80 so it can be big enough. Then let's say color red, colors.red like that. Yeah, we're good. So let's create a space size box. Then the height should be, let's say 24. Okay, so from there we can also create a new text. Then inside the text we can just see an error code, or let's just say page not found. So okay, page not found. Let me just say 404 page not found. All right, so let's increase the size of this guy. So I just design it, test out, then font width, basically just make it bold, something simple. All right, so let's increase the font size as well, set it to. All right, okay, I think that's pretty much it. Then the next thing now is just to print the reason for the error. So let me just copy the size box so we can just create another text. So here we can just say the error, I mean this error parameter here. So we can just call error. So that's the reason for the error, what this is getting here, then to string. So in case if the error is empty, or if it is not rather, then we can say unexpected error occurred or something like that, or the required page does not exist, any other information that is required. So from there we can just let's just tie this as well. Let's just tie this. Let's see. What kind of style should we give this? There's no need to increase the style. Let's just change the color to something else. So let's say colors.gray. Okay. Put shade 600. Okay. All right. I think that is okay. We can align this to center. Just align. Okay. All right. Inside our bottom, my AI is already suggesting it, so let's just accept, so we can place everything to the center already. Okay, I think we already missed something here. All right, so we are good. So now the next button now can just be now to go. I mean, if you're on a wrong page, then we should create a button for you to navigate back to the home page. So let me just copy this size for the spacing. Then we can just create elevated button like that. Then the on press child can just put test to back to home, sorry, go home or something like that. So inside this what's it called, on press, then we can just call contest.go, since we are using GoRouter. So contest.go, then inside it we can just say /home like that, so it will navigate to the home page. All right, so I think that's pretty much for this our error screen. So inside this we can just copy, since we can just copy this our error screen now. So inside the router we can now make use of the error screen here. So instead of this center that we have here, so I can just paste this error screen. Let me import it. So to pass the error now, so we can just say error, as you can see, error, then state.error, this GoRouter state parameter that I made, the argument that we have here. So that's pretty much it for this error builder. Yeah, so the other thing that we also have here is redirect. So we are going to be building this later as well, so but let's just have it. So the redirect also have what's it called, context, then the state, which is GoRouter state. For now, let's just return none, since we are not returning anything yet. We're going to adjust this later. All right, so for this route.g.dat that is returning error, the reason is because we need to run our build runner. So to run build runner, just like we can see inside this documentation for running build runner, to do it, so we just have to run this command, which is that run build runner build. So we have build, and build simply means to build it once and for all, that's it. And we have another one, which is watch. So watch, basically we watch for any changes inside our file. So if there's any changes, it will rebuild the command again, and so on and so forth. So instead of using build, we can just make use of watch. So inside my terminal now, let me just clear this. I can now say that run build underscore runner, then watch like this. So we can just run the command. So this will run some checks and build these are our router.g.dat. so just the route system. Okay, so let's just chill for that for a little bit to finish running, although there's still some error, so you can proceed after that. Okay, so the next thing now, just like I mentioned, our routing system, we are starting from the login screen, which is like the welcome screen. And if we also go through the documentation again, since we are starting with what's it called, defining a route, the route tree. So you see the tree of route is defined as an attribute on each of the top levels. So once we declare like this type go route, so with this we can declare like a what's it called, the route tree basically. So we are starting with the login. So from the login we move to home, then from home to settings, then to profile. So like that. So we start with the login now. So the same thing we have here. So I'll just come under this route provider. So we start with the login. So just type typed go to route. So then we can just say login route like that. So type go route, then login route. So inside here the circle brackets, so sorry, it should not be class. So inside our circle brackets now, you can just define the path, which is let's just say /login like that. So that's pretty much it for that. So then we can create the class for the login route. So you can say login route. So if you check again after declaring the path, you can see after declaring the path we have this home route. Then they created a class which is home route, extend the GoRouter data with the home route with the $sign basically. So this will tell the build runner that we're running to like build the what's it called, the navigation structure for this particular route. So that's what we are doing here. So we can just call this login route just like we have here. So login route, so instead of login route, then extend GoRouter data. So GoRouter data with what's it called, underscore login route, like that. All right, so I just put it like that. Then inside there we can just declare override. So just basic thing. Then so inside our override now, can our bit widget. Inside our bit widget, so just the bit context basically. Then we have to call the GoRouter state, like that. State, there should be small letters O. Right, GoRouter state. Then we can just create the login screen. So for this I'll just return center again. We're going to build the login screen later. So inside this our feature, I'm going to create another folder. Let me create the folder. We just call it auth, like this, authentication. So inside here now we can create our login screen. Let me just create the file now. So login screen dot. Okay, so let's just leave it like that. Or let me just create a simple what's it called, a simple center for now. So we can come back to this later. So let me just call it login screen. Okay, let's just leave it as container like that. So let me just copy this. So yeah, so I can just refer to login screen. Let me import it. All right, so this is our login screen. So we are good with this, our login route already. So the next one is our home route. So our home route now. So this login route, since we are not having a nested what is it called, a nested route, that's why we are using this tab GoRouter. So for our home route now, where we have like a nested route, that we'll be using another word. So as you can see, type GoRouter. If you scroll down, we'll scroll down now. So the same way we have this type GoRouter, we also have the stateful ShellRoute. So with this we can have the nested route. So for our login is just a single page that navigates to another screen entirely. So for this other home settings and profile, we are going to be creating typed. Then we can type stateful. So stateful shell routes, like this. So this route, just like we see. So here we can just name it shell app shell route data, like that. Okay, so I think we're good. Right, so inside here now we can have different branches. So let's just call it branches. Yeah, that's it. So with a list of data like that. So inside the branches now we can now get to the home, to the profile, and to the settings. So I just call the type stateful shell branch. So this particular class, so type stateful shell branch. Then inside this, then we have the route. But before that, now after this stateful, we can just mark it as this home branch data. We are going to be creating this later. So home branch data. Then inside the route, we can just navigate to the path. Show the same thing we did here. Inside this login route, that's what we are going to be doing here as well. So inside our route now, then we can just call the typed GoRouter. So inside our GoRouter, just the home route, like that. All right, so inside our home route now, we can just navigate the default. The first part is home, so we can just call part like that. Then home. So inside the home part now, then we want to navigate. I mentioned that in our what's it called, in our home page now, we want to just have like a list of data, like list video builder, that we have a list of items. So inside the item now, we can click an item to navigate to the details of the item. So that's what we'll be doing here. So inside this our home route, it will have like a children route, so we can just route like that. Then we have the typed GoRouter, so basically another route, type GoRouter like that. So we can give this details routes. Then set our details route to just path. just the part just like we have with the home as well. So here we can just call it details there with the ID basically. So I think that's okay. This should be inside the bracket, so let me cut it. So yeah, okay, so this should be how we should have it. All right, so that's pretty much it for this our home route. So the next one is the profile. For the profile, we are not really navigating to another sub route. We are only logging out, so we can just have sorry, let me just try to track. This is our home branch, this is where we are stopping. So I'll just put a comma here so we can create for profile. So type stateful, let me just copy this, type stateful branch like that. All right, stateful branch, then we can call this one profile branch data. Okay, so that profile branch data, I just click enter, then the route is just the profile route basically. So profile route, so inside there you can just say typed GoRouter. So yeah, profile route, then profile, simple and straightforward like that. So that's pretty much for this. So then the next thing now is the settings. So the settings is pretty much like this is our home. Instead of wasting time, so let me just copy this home. So we just change the information here basically. So and just put a comma here. So instead of home branch, I'll just change this to settings branch data, then home route, I'll change it to settings route. This should be settings like that. Then for our settings page, let's just navigate to a single page. So let's just call it support route like that. So this should just be support without extra ID. Okay, so I think we are good with this. So that's pretty much for this our nested route. So we created this Auth ShellRoute now. So the next thing now is to create this class to extend the stateful ShellRoute data that we are using here. So the stateful ShellRoute data that we're using, so we're going to like create it with this Auth ShellRoute data as well. So here now we can just create a class. So the class basically this Auth ShellRoute data. So let me copy it. This class then extends stateful. So the stateful should just be a single L. So share then route data. Okay, all right, yeah, so we are good. So inside this stateful route data, so just basic thing. So the first should be creating a constructor for this Auth ShellRoute data, Auth ShellRoute data like that. Okay, yeah, so from here now we can just create our builder widget. So the first is override. So inside the override now, then we have widgets and call this builder. So inside the builder we have the bid contest, which is contest. Then we have the GoRouter state. Then we have our stateful navigation shell, stateful navigation. Sorry, navigation. Okay, navigation shell. So we can just call this one navigation shell. Shell like that. All right, so I think that's so sorry. Okay, just close it. All right, so that's pretty much it. So inside this we can just return we are going to return a class. So we're going to create this later. So let me just return center for now. I think we made a mistake somewhere. All right, I did not close this guy, so you're supposed to close it. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So this is our Auth ShellRoute. So this is our bottom navigation shell basically. So we are going to be returning the bottom navigation by here. So we are going to create that later. But for all these our home branch data, profile branch data and the likes, so let's just create that before we go and create the screen basically. So under this page now, sorry. Okay, so let me just class home branch data. So all the data. So let me just enter this. So on brand data extend stateful shell branch. So let me just accept this as well. So profile then for setting. So it's pretty much the same thing, nothing changes. So the next thing now is to create the same thing that we did for this login or this login. So the reason why we're going through this process for the home, the profile and this setting is because of the preserve state bottom navigation bar. So the preserve state, it's like we are preserving state of the navigation like the home. So even if the user navigate to another screen, I mean the extended route of home screen, then we are still preserving the state of that particular bottom navigation. So that's what we are doing here. So under these settings now, then we can continue to do the same thing that we have for this login, which is login state, which extend the route data and so on and so forth. So here now, okay, so here now I can say class home route extend GoRouter data with underscore $sign home routes like that. So let me just, okay, so just accept. So we are just returning a container. We are going to be the home screen later. So let me just create a simple home screen. Let me create a new file inside this our features. So I will just call it home. I'll create a folder. So I'll call it home. Let me create home screen. Where is it? Okay, home screen. So we can come back to this later. So then just call home screen dot. So I'll just build a simple stateless, just center. Okay, so home screen. All right, home screen like that. All right, so let me just copy this. Let's come back to our route. So instead of container, just change to home screen like that. We customize the home screen later. All right, so the same thing. Let's build for the details page. So for the details, as you can see inside our details route now, we are collecting the like some parameter, which is the ID basically. So we can just create the details route, then pass the ID and the query basically. So here now I can just say class details route, which we extend GoRouter data with okay, let's call details routes like that. Okay, so details routes. All right, so inside our details route, so just a couple of things. Final string, the ID, then let's say query. If we can just pass some query, so we are going to pass some like query, like the same way we used to pass data from one screen to another. So we can like do the same also in our GoRouter. So let's just extend the constructor. So details route. Right, so this is pretty much it. All right, so that's that. So inside this guy now, we can just call override then the build. So this is the build. So instead of the home screen, so I'll just create a simple design. Let me just create a new folder and we'll call it details. Sorry, it should be folder. So create a new folder. I'm gonna call it details, or let me just create a file inside our home screen since it's inside home screen. So let me just say details screen like screen dot that. So material page, then states, then just say details screen. So inside our details screen now we can record the string and what's it called, the query basically. So just yeah, all right, so we are good. So I can just copy these details instead of home screen. So let's just paste the details, let's import it. So we can now pass the query, I mean the ID and the query. So these are our details, pretty straightforward like that. So these are our details screen. I hope you're getting it. So that's for details. So the next thing now is the profile. So profile is pretty straightforward. So let's just call class profile like that. Okay, so let's just create a new folder as well for our profile. So just call this the profile. So I can just create a new file here. Let's just say profile screen dot that. So okay, yeah, let's just say profile screen. Okay, so we're good. And copy this. So we'll be coming back to customize these screens later. All right, so we are good. All right, so the next thing now is settings. So inside our settings, that's where we have support as well. So we're doing the same thing that we did for this, although nothing complicated. But yeah, so let's just call the settings route. So settings like that. Before I create the folder, let me just create the what's it called, the support. So support. Okay, so this is the support, but inside our support now we can pass like a support message or something like that. So the we can just like an extra parameter or query parameter basically. So just like we're passing a data to the support. So let me just require let me say support message. Support message, we're going to create this later, so we just put it like this, then put $ extra like that. No, it says support message extra. Okay, so we can create constructor for this guy like that. All right, so that's pretty much it for our support route. So we just return the support screen. So we're going to create the support message here. So let's just quickly do that. So our support message is just like a model, so it will contain title. Okay, let's just say title and content. So title and content like that. So just the title and the content. Let me put it inside name parameter like this, so it will be easy to identify. Okay, required as well. All right, so we are good to go. So now I can create a new folder, then I can call this no, let me call it what's it called, settings. So inside the settings now we can have the settings screen, then the support screen. So let me say settings screen dot. Then inside here as well we can have support support screen dot. All right, so inside our settings screen, let's just do something basic, material. All right, then we have stateless, just a settings screen. All right, so that's straightforward. Come back to route. Then for our settings, these are our settings here. So just change this container to settings, then import the file. All right, we are good. Then for the what's it called, for the support. So for the support also, so this is the support file. So we are just going to create a simple stuff as well. So just say material. Okay, material like that. Then create a simple stateless widget support. Okay, support screen. So here now we can just require the support message. Yeah, so support message, then we can just say message like that. All right, so let's just say this dot message. All right, okay, I think we are good. Message. All right, so that's pretty much it. So here now I can just copy this, then inside this our support route, instead of this guy, then I can say let's import support. All right, so we are good with this already. So as you can see, we have created for our support message. We have, let's just go through it one by one so you can see what we have done. So we are done with the login route. So this is where we now create the routing structure, or the route structure, where we have the home. So inside our home now we can navigate to the details of the home. So these are our profile. These are our settings basically. So from our settings as well, we have like a sub route, which is support basically. Then we have this app shell that is holding everything. So we are going to create, okay, so we still have the bottom navigation that we are going to create. So let's just do that now. So this is our home branch. So let me just call out all this profile, settings, then the home route, details route, profile route, and the settings, and all these other extras. So now the next thing is just to create the bottom navigation bar. So let's just create a class. So let me just name this scaffold with bottom nav bar. All right, so just extend stateless widget. Okay, let me just accept this. All right, let me see what we have here. Okay, so this is pretty much what we want. So scaffold with bottom navigation bar, so with stateless widget. So basically the navigation shell, so you are going to see how we are going to pass it to this this guy. This is navigation shell, which is stateful navigation shell basically. So from the navigation shell now we create a scaffold. So inside our scaffold we have our body, which is navigation shell. So everything, instead of the manual way that we used to do it, that is we create a list. So we just notice the change of the list with the index, just like fetching an item from a particular list, how we used to do the bottom navigation. So we have the body, which listens to the navigation shell, then we have the bottom navigation system itself. So the current index is navigation shell dot current index, then on top it go to branch, the index of that navigation bar that we're navigating to. So we have all the items of the navigation bar. We have the home, we have the profile, and we have the settings. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, so now the next thing now is just to change this center to navigation. So we can now call this navigation shell, then put navigation shell like that. Yeah, so we are done with this. Okay, so let me collapse this and collapse this as well. Okay, so that's that. So that's pretty much it. So this is, let me just add it to my workspace. All right, so the next thing now is this our what's it called, our build runner to generate the file. So the only thing that is remaining here is the redirect. So the redirect basically is the authentication for login, sign up and all. So for that I'll create, I already created for that the authentication. So we have the login screen. I'm going to create like authentication provider as well. So authentication provider here, so that. So inside the authentication provider, so we just create something simple, just like I mentioned. So just basic login and sign out. So the login, we set the state to true, the logout we set the state to false basically. So let's just do that. So let's create authentication class. So let's say states. So in here, let's just have a final, let's just call it is authenticated like that. All right, so it's authenticated, then the authentication state require authentication is authenticated. All right, so let's import our river pod. Okay, so from here now we can just go through to authentication notifier. So with authentication notifier, what we have here, so let me just create this from scratch so we can see authentication notifier. All right, I hope I get the spelling correct. I actually extend, let's share auto dispose notifier. No, I want something. Okay, auto dispose notifier like this. Then let's see on state. So from here now we can just create the login and logout. So is this what I want? Okay, yeah, this is it. So okay, so override the first initial state of is authenticated is false by default. Then we have the login. So the login we set the state to true, then the logout we set the state to false. So that's pretty much what we want. What we're using our state management for. So here now we can now create our authentication provider, which we have the authentication dispose notifier provider, then the authentication notifier and state, then we are good to go. So that's pretty much it here. So now we can navigate back to our route. This is our router. So inside this redirect now, we are going to be creating fetching the the authentication provider here. So we are going to watch the state. So with that we can redirect properly. So let's just say final is authenticated like this, should be equal to, let's just say on state, or is it on state? Let me create a final here so we can, instead of repeating it, so let me just say on state. Okay, on state, then dot ref dot watch. So yeah, I think the name is authentication provider. So let's import it. So by the way, this authentication provider, this is it over here. All right, so that's what we are calling. So now I can just make use of this onstate here. So onstate dot is authenticated. So we have to everything to this is authenticated basically. So we can watch if it is true or false. So let's also create another variable. Let's just say is logged in or logging in. Okay, is logging in. Then we can, instead of sublog, let's match location. So it's logging in now. So if it's logging in, so we check the match location. If it's equal to login, so we can just return something. So this is the first state, is authenticated. If it is authenticated or not, then it's logging in. If the user is logging in, and if the user click on the button and is navigating to our home screen basically. So now we can just do some check. So let's just say if it's authenticated, let's say if it's authenticated and is logging in, then we can just return to login. Although this should be if not, so let's put the exclamation mark here. So if it is not authenticated, that if the user is not authenticated, again our authentication, this is the authentication. If it is login, when the user log in, to be true. So if it is false here, we are checking if it is false, and logging in is false as well. So it should go to login instead of home. So it should go to login. So it should be on login screen. Then the second check, now we can check if it's authenticated and is logging in, then we can go to home. So basically, so this first we are checking if both are false. So if is not authenticated and is not logging in, then it should be on login screen. If it's authenticated and is logging in, then it should be on home screen. So as simple as that. So that's pretty much it here. So let me just rerun our what's it called? Let me stop this. Sorry, control. So let me just start it again. So what's it called? That run build runner. And just run build. Okay, so let's just give it a few seconds to run. Okay, I think there's a problem somewhere. All right, so the reason for this error, as you can see here, so it's saying that GoRouter build are missing mixing clause with login route. So we put underscore here. So if you check the documentation here, so according to the documentation, home route extend GoRouter data with home route. So we can just remove the documentation. So just to get things up and running. So underscore here. Now we can remove for this as well. So remove for this as well. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So now let me clear this up. Let me start again. So instead of build, let me just put it to watch. Alright, so let's just run this. It will take a few seconds to finish running. Okay. Alright, so as you can see, all the error has cleared off and we have it generated that file here. As you can see, do not modify this by hand, so it's auto generated. So this is our route structure. So as you can see, we don't have any error. So we have we have like a structural navigation system in our Flutter app already. So now the next thing is just to create the screen. So we already have all the navigation here, so we can as well just close this. Since on my main that where we still have this running, so I'll just delete everything here, so we can just map the navigation that we have created. So okay, let me just delete all this one instead. So let's do it like this. Okay, so I'm gonna delete all this. Okay. Okay, I think that's okay. So for this our main dot now, instead of just material app, I mean this our run app, we can just wrap it with what's it called, provider scope. So provider provider scope like that. All right, then inside our material app title is okay. Let me change this one to advanced GoRouter tutorial. Then in our home route, I mean instead of home, we'll not be using home or material app again, since we're already using GoRouter. So if we go to GoRouter documentation, where is it? So instead of using the home, we have this material app the router, so that's what we'll be using instead. So I can just go back here, so just change this to router, then we'll not be using home again. So here we can just use router config. So router config, you just be calling the router. So this is our router. So okay, we create the router variable here. So just create router. So let's call it watch the what's it called, where's our router, the router provider. So this router provider, so let's come back here. So if the watch, so you can put the router provider here. So we have to change this to consumer widget as well, since we're using what's it called, provider, consumer widget. Yeah, then once you change to consumer widget, then you have to add the widget ref. So here we can make use of this. Then let's import our router provider like that. So we are good to do. So I can restart my app from scratch like this. So let's restart. As you can see, the page is blank because our login screen is blank as well. So if I change it to scaffold, let me change it to scaffold. As you can see, that's the changes. If I just accept center, as you can see, this is our login screen. So that's basically it. So now inside our login screen, so we can just create a simple button so we can be fast with this. So let me just create some file that we are not using. So let's close this main, our router authentication provider. All right, so let's just go to login. So inside our login, we'll not be doing anything much. So let's just create a simple button that will just navigate to what's it called, I'll just navigate to our home screen. How should I do it now? Okay, let me wrap this inside column. So inside column, then okay, so okay, so I don't like how this guys come say. Okay, so our column now, let's just create what's it called, elevated button. So set our elevated button, then we can have, okay, I think I have missed something. This is our children. What's this? Okay, I'm inside center. I wonder. Right, so let's cut this. This is our center closing bracket. So this is our elevated button. So inside our elevated button, instead of this, now we'll be using our, if we check this authentication provider, we have our login, so we'll just be using this instead. So inside login screen, instead of this navigation dot whatever, we just use what's it called, rev.read. So here now we have to change this to consumer widget as well. So we can use the what's it called, our river port for our state management. So when you change it, make sure you add this widget ref, so like that. Then inside our what's it called, on press, now we can now navigate to we can just set the state of is authenticated to true. Sorry. All right, so rev.read, then authentication provider dot notify, then login like that. So once you log in, then we set the state to true. So our stuff is still floating here. So you just set it to center, main axis alignment to center like that. All right, so just enter. All right, so this is good already. So if I click on login now, so as you can see, okay, it's currently returning 4. These are 4 page basically. Let me go back. Okay, I think we made a mistake. Let me refresh again. All right, so let me log in. So login is going to 4. Let me check our route. So from our route, we have the login. So from login, from our login is going to the home screen. So from home screen, our home screen is where's our home screen? Our home screen is going to the home branch. So this is our home route, which is home screen. Okay, I think this initial location now, instead of empty, we can just update this to home. So let's refresh again. So let's start. So click on login. Okay, so this is our login now. So the initial location, so instead of the 404, so profile settings. So inside of this our home now, so we'll just quickly create something simple. So I'll just scaffold and then body. So instead of body, list view the builder. Here is it, let's view the builder. Then let's do something simple, say index, then return lister. Okay, let's do it like that. Okay, let's just customize this a little bit. So let's say okay, let's set the item to how many items are here. Okay, let's just leave it at that. So instead of let's view the builder now, we can just create okay, I'm thinking of a inside list since this is our title, let's create a leading. I don't want it to be too complicated. Well, let's just leave it like this. We can customize it later, so we won't just take too much time. So let's put what is it called, on pressed, or be on top rather. So on top, for it to navigate to like what is it called, the detail screen, because that's the major thing that I want to show you here. So inside our on top now, when we want to navigate to the detail screen, so we just call the details route. So that's the details route that we created. Then we can just call the ID. So inside our details route, we go to the our router. These are our details route. Where is it? Okay, details route. So as you can see, we are asking for ID and probably a query, which is optional. So the ID and the query, so in our on screen now, the ID that we are passing is the index. So let me just say let me create okay, I want to increment because our index starts with 0, so let me just update that. So I just create this new item index, so +1, so it can start from 1 instead of 0. All right, so we pass the index, which is the ID, then a query parameter. So we are just passing what's it called, query param. We can, like, if you want to customize anything, let me just say hello, this is from GoRouter, like that. So then go.context, like that. So that's pretty much it for this our what's it called, our details page. If I click on this now, it will navigate to the screen. As you can see, it's still our bottom navigation bar is still here. So our what's our details page. So this is our details page. We are here to like do anything. So here now, let me just create something simple. So scaffold and say body, and put it in the center. So okay, let's just accept this. So as you can see, this is the text. So detail screen, the item, which is the item of the button we click, is 2. Then the query, which is hello, this is GoRouter. So that's pretty simple. Let me create our bar so we can go back. Let me just call out bar like that. All right, so you can see the back button. So if I go to profile, if I go to settings, this is my profile. On home screen, you can see that I'm currently on item 2. The item 2 is preserved. I'm on profile. This is profile item 2. So if I go back now, I can go to item 12. I can go to another navigation. I can go to another navigation and still come back to home, and that particular screen is preserved. So that's pretty much it. So on profile now, we can just add something to this profile. Just put this. We can create a button for logout. Okay, let me just column like that. Then let me just copy what you have on login screen, so you can just log out as well. So I'm gonna copy this. Where's the screen again? This is our profile. Let me see. Okay, so let's change this to consumer widgets. So consumer widgets, then widgets ref. So authentication provider, we have to import it. So instead of logouts, you can just say instead of login rather, should be logout. So we can change this to logout as well. All right, so here now I can just call main axis, okay, main axis alignment. So all right, so that's, so here now I can click on logout. So if I click on logout, as you can see, it navigated to the login screen. If I restart the app, it's on login screen, so I can log in again. So this is our home screen now, where I can navigate to item 21. So I'm on my profile. You can see profile. If I come back to home, this screen is still preserved. I have the settings as well that I can add extra data to it. So just give me a few seconds so I can update this whole data so we can have something aesthetic. So in just a few seconds, I'll pause the video now to update this. Alright, so I've been able to quickly just update the UI of our application. So this look more pleasing. So now these are logins, so I can just click on login. So we have our item list now. So if I go to item 5, so these are item 5. As you can see, we are currently on this screen. So I can go to profile, can go to settings. Even on our settings, I make this clickable. So this is our on settings, we are on support. So I can go back to profile. On our home, we are still on this page. As you can see that the bottom navigation bar is preserved, and on these our settings as well, we have this still preserved, and we still have our bottom navigation solution here. So that's pretty much about this advanced GoRouter tutorial. Let me know what you think in the comments. Drop your suggestion. If you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so. You can as well join my Discord server if you have any other question, or you can drop your question in the comment section below. And by the way, if you want to become a full stack Flutter developer, you can check out my focus on Datfrog or even Serverpod in the link in the description or in the related video of this particular video, and make sure you learn one or two things from this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.